afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the Star Wars Minute. It's the daily show, you should know that, where we analyze and scrutinize and celebrate solo a Star Wars story 1 minute at a time. That would make me your host, Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
That would make me another host, Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Asterios Kokkinos from the Loudest Podcast.
That means I must be Ralph Attanasia, frequent contributor to the Sans Pants Radio Podcast Network.
Welcome back, guys, to discuss minute 89 of Solo, a Star Wars story.
Star Wars story.
Minute 89 starts with Han asking Chewbacca how long he's known how to fly, and it ends a minute later with Chewie grunting in resigned servitude when Han demands that he flood the intake and sweep through the bilats.
Mm-hmm.
I love that little moment in the beginning of this minute. Han's reaction to that, 190? You look great.
Yeah, he does.
Do you think Chewbacca is being honest?
Oh.
I mean, we all know, we've all been told that Chewbacca is 200 years old, but, seems like that would be something that you'd be... If Chewbacca was going to lie about his age, would he skew younger or would he skew older?
I don't think Chewbacca would lie.
You don't think he's a moral pacifist?
Capable of lying.
I think he's very honest. You know what, Asterios, I've been thinking about this more. I think you're Han.
Oh.
Explain.
I feel like your talking would get us in trouble.
Yes.
And I like being naked.
Yes. Also, don't you own Chewbacca pajamas?
We don't need to talk about that.
You crashed on my couch once and you looked like an adult. You were wearing a full Chewbacca outfit. It was the cutest thing I ever saw.
I am a sweet little cherub.
Yeah. All right.
Well, it sounds like you got to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let the
yeah.
record show. Asterios is Han. Ralph is Chewbacca.
Did you know that when they were making the Star Wars movie,
The first one?
Star Wars, what a great time to be Star Wars, or whatever the movie's called. Some of the producers or something had a hard time with they wanted Chewbacca to wear some shorts or something because he's fully nude except for his purse. And George Lucas told them, "Don't worry, he doesn't have genitals."
Wow.
That seems like something
Has a son.
That seems like something you just tell the actors to shut him up.
Right, yeah, or the network executives, or
Right.
whatever, the studio heads.
Yeah, because
But
he
he
got
must-
lumpy and he got a grandpa, which means he came from somewhere from
And
grandpa.
that grandpa is horny.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So, who knows?
Lovematic grandpa.
Yeah. But yes, I do
maybe it's like Shape of Water, and it goes
right.
in.
Right. He doesn't have genitals
Yeah.
that we can see.
Yeah.
So
But I
So
agree.
did you guys like that movie?
I did like that movie because
I didn't.
headcanon, I just pictured this is the Creature from the Black Lagoon movie that they had commissioned and then not made.
See, and my headcanon is that was Paddington's mom before she got married to Paddington's dad.
There you go.
my headcanon
eventually
was
we-
I never saw it.
Did you see Paddington?
No.
Did you see Paddington 2?
No.
Paddington 2 is one of the best movies ever made.
It's the Empire Strikes Back of Paddington movies.
Well, only time will tell whether Paddington 3, if it builds, or are we getting is it like an MCU style kind of arc with the Paddington movies, or is it just we refined the formula?
They should
Anyway.
do other can they combine Paddington with other the Winnie the Pooh verse, other
Now they can.
the Ted verse, other talking bear,
Oh yeah, you have a Bear Vengers.
Bear Vengers.
And get those toilet paper bears in there, too.
Yeah,
Oh,
get the
yeah.
Sonic Bears.
Let's name all the bears we want in this thing.
The Country Bears.
The country bears.
I'll get you, bears.
I'll get you bears.
We got the Justin Timberlake Yogi Bear movie. All
Yup.
sorts of
Right.
So I like that Chewbacca's 200th birthday was. Do you think they did anything special for Chewbacca's 200th?
Have some tip yip.
Or do you think it's like, if Wookiees live for a long time, is turning 200? Is that sort of the equivalent of like, I guess humans, we tend to see any 10-year mark as like, oh, I'm turning 30, I'm turning 40.
Right. Well,
so maybe
I
it's not
figure
as big of a deal.
centuries would be important for them, right?
Do we know how long Wookiees live? Is he like Yoda?
I was thinking to say I don't know, because he's like, I'm 190, and it's like, is that old?
Yeah.
Or maybe he's 10.
I'm going to guess they clock in at between 300 and 500.
I'm going to say 350.
Oh.
Wait, let's see who can guess how long the average Wookiee lives without going over.
Yeah, you got to get closest. Price is right.
Price is right still. I'm going to say 350.
400.
Alex?
1 year.
Ralph gets a take-home bonus because Wookiees have an average lifespan of 400 standard years.
400. So
On the
Chewbacca's
nosy.
exactly at middle age.
Right.
He's roughly 40 years old.
Yeah.
In human
That makes
years.
sense.
And
he feels like a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Hey, this is unrelated, but how old do you think of Batman being when you think of Batman?
45. 35?
35.
I always picture him like real early, like 40, 41.
Yeah. Like with a little bit of gray in the temples, but not
none of these
so
can be
much.
true, right?
I guess it depends on the story, right?
Well, at one point, he was all of those ages.
Of course.
Right.
But in year one, ironically, he was like 28. You'd think
That
he'd
was
be
before
one.
he was older.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
It's true.
Oh,
Well,
I
that's
stepped
not-
on your joke.
that's not-
I'm
And then
sorry.
that's okay. Look, the audience got there before you did. But then in The Dark Knight Returns, he's like ancient. He's like an old man.
Yeah.
But no matter how old or young he is, he's still punching the hell out of people.
It's one of those old
I
guys
think the
who can
part of it
punch.
is I have a hard time, because like you first read comics, you're a kid, and so Batman is just like an adult. But then when you get older, I'm like, well, I'm 52 years old. Is Batman? He has to be younger than I am, and it's weird to think of Batman as being younger than I am. You know what I mean? Like to me, he's always like an adult who's like an authority figure.
Right.
I'm referring now to the Batman Chronology Project.com.
What?
How old is Bruce Wayne? And they do a lot of research, and it looks like they say like in year one he's 25, gets back in Gotham from his training, turns 26 in February, making him 26 when he debuts as Batman.
So we don't know how long he's been Batman, though.
And then according to his chronology, 23 full Bat years transpire up to the modern ages end in 2011, making Bruce 48 years old.
48?
48 in 2011 at the end of modern age continuity, quote unquote.
That seems way too old.
But these Robins get old. Like Nightwing
fast.
is like when I think of Nightwing, I think of like a 28-year-old or a 29-year-old.
Yeah.
That seems old.
I'm not saying Robin. I'm saying, but that's the thing. But like, you find him, Robin, you think of as like 13, 14. Nightwing, well, I don't know, late 20s. I don't think of Nightwing as like a 21-year-old. I don't think Nightwing just got like the ability to go to a bar. I think he's been going to bars for a while.
I have a couple of questions.
Okay. I have a couple of answers.
So we learned that Chewbacca is a pilot or knows how to fly a ship, and then he climbs into the co-pilot seat. I wonder what the rules are in Star Wars. Like, do you need a license to be a pilot? Is there different classes of license? That kind of thing. So
I'd never even considered.
Also, the Falcon is like at one point when Rey is flying the Falcon, it's at least like 70 years old.
Right.
And she gets behind the wheel and immediately knows how to do everything. Of course, she's Rey, but like, has ship technology not advanced where basically Chewbacca can get on a ship he's never been on before, a 70-year-old ship, and know exactly what kind of switches to flip?
Well, he knows the kind of, I think it's, there's certain similar things.
But like, could Chewbacca and Han fly an X-Wing?
They couldn't both fit in the cockpit.
Yeah, I'd like to see
I don't think
that.
I don't think the Rebels had Wookiees in mind when they built them.
Right.
Although you'll never get a better night's sleep than curled up in the lap of a Wookiee.
There you go. So Chewie can fly an X-Wing and Han will just curl up in his lap and take a nap.
Yeah.
That's
and like
adorable.
similarly, can Luke pilot the Falcon and all these kind of like is it you learn once and you're done, or is it like
It's an
driving
entirely
a
different
semi
type of
or
flying
something?
altogether.
So I don't have a
It's an
problem.
entirely
with this.
different type of flying.
Mhm.
You don't have
I'll
a
tell
problem.
you why.
Why?
Because what would I know that Lucas talked about this, how like the prequel era was sort of a craftsman's era where like, you know, everything was shiny and nice and fancy. And then as the Empire came, progress stagnated and things just became like cheap and mass manufactured.
Uh-huh.
So it's possible that like, oh God, I hate Star Wars. It's possible that like, you know, ship controls or whatever, like reached their kind of golden age during that. And then it's kind of just sort of been more of the same for many years since the Empire took hold.
I had the exact same thought because, like, when the Empire takes over, essentially it's like a Soviet-style takeover where it's like, okay, so the government now controls all these private industries. And it's like right now in the war in Ukraine, like, Russia is fielding like 40-year-old tanks in the war, where it's just kind of like, yeah, that kind of makes sense to me that, you know, when you sort of like stifle like the profit motive, like you stifle like innovation.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who's the voice of Paddington
I do.
in Ukraine?
Me!
President Zelensky.
Asterios Kokkinos! That's right. That's me! In Ukrainian. That's why Paddington goes like, Slava Ukraini. It's like, that's me!
I'm starting a Paddington podcast. I'm starting
Poddington?
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 Poddington.
Can you do minutes? Or are you going to do...
By minute?
By minute?
By movie. It's going to be 2 episodes long.
Well, always 2 there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Man, Paddington 2 is great. Totally unironically love that movie.
It's true, it is good.
I got a question for you. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, we have time for 2 questions. What's your question?
Do you think they had to add a Star Wars story to this? It's like, doesn't that seem kind of thirsty and a little bit desperate for my money? That it's like, it's like, gee, I wonder if this movie with Chewbacca on the poster might be a Star Wars movie. I wonder if this movie with the Millennium Falcon flying and TIE fighters, I wonder, but it's called Solo. It's called, no, it's Solo, the DC character, the DC Comics mercenary. Surely that's what it was.
Like, what if they got confused with like Free Solo?
Right.
I don't know what that is.
Or the Solo, the Mario Van Peebles movie from 1996.
But isn't that just extra money for you that people will be like, oh, this is excellent. They've remade that great Mario Van Peebles vehicle.
I withdraw my.
You get
I wish
I still like it.
I would have liked if they had included a cameo from Mario Van Peebles in this movie. That would have been a nice bit of a little tip of the hat, a meta tip of the
And
hat.
whoever starred in Free Solo. Let's
Sure.
say Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I don't know who's in it.
What about,
I think
why didn't they get U.S. national soccer team member Hope Solo? To be
Now that's a Star Wars name if I've ever heard one in my
Right?
goddamn
Hope Solo.
life.
Hope Solo is
Hope
like,
Solo.
literally in the
And they
names of
could have
two.
got that actor who was in Fast and the Furious 2, Han Solo.
What?
Han Solo was in Fast and
Oh,
Furious
that's
too?
right. I forgot. His name is Han. Yes.
His
But
last name is Solo, but it's spelled like Seoul in Korea.
right, exactly. It's like a fun thing. But
No.
now I'm realizing this.
What?
What if people are like, oh no, they remade Solo? Well, I certainly can't take my kids to this.
Right.
What if
I
they
don't
made
get
it
that reference.
based on the Indiana Jones
better off.
sidekick and called it Sala, a Star Wars story?
Oh.
I'm sure
I'm
Brad would-
watching it
that
then
to
too.
death.
I'd watch
Yeah.
that.
Now I'm in.
I'm sad that John Rhys Davies hasn't been in Star Wars yet.
That's puzzling.
They're
is.
running out of time.
He is
Yeah.
still
Got to
with
get
us?
a move on.
Is he still alive?
He's
Yes.
I believe so.
Barely. He's around. Professor Arcturo from the Sliders.
He's
is around.
He's only
multiverse
78
very
years old.
popular.
I
He's
was expecting to
He's
see
like a
he's little bit
sane
older.
Brian Blessed.
Will he be in Indy 5? I bet he'll be in Indy 5.
Yeah, he'll be
I
in
hope
Indy
so.
5.
We'll
So is
see.
Indy going to be in like an Iron Lung? Or
I was
is he going to be in a Jazzy?
He has
He's gonna
health
be like in a
problems.
hover round, like a little jazzy.
No, I think Mutt Williams is going to be Indiana
Jizzy.
Jones in this one.
Oh, definitely.
Oh.
Well,
We'll
certainly. They're gonna release an Indiana Jones 4 special edition where he does pick up that hat.
Mm.
And then and Indiana Jones looks at him and he does a little finger gun and goes, "I want you to have it, kid. It's right that this happens."
And they're gonna like clutch cargo his mouth.
Right, yeah.
And they're gonna get Ehrenhart Racker Brew from this movie to be.
I think that would be
And 400 computer generated monkeys.
I think the best
Torque.
choice would be to if you're going to recast Indiana Jones, use the same actor that you used in this, just to purely be like, no, we're committed to this. This is what we decided.
Yeah.
I would watch that,
Mhm.
and then they could remake. They could just imagine that guy
The first
going,
one.
"I didn't kill my wife."
Oh,
And it's
Right.
like, "Oh, you're so sexy! Wow."
Well, technically, shouldn't we be seeing a CGI River Phoenix be playing young Han Solo?
Too soon.
Hmm.
River Phoenix, another Star Wars name.
That is a Star Wars.
That is.
That's the starriest, warsiest name.
good.
Well, we get a nice little callback here because while they're goofing around in the cockpit, Lando was attempting to dismember his dead girlfriend, and there's fires breaking out on the Falcon. And this is where we see Kira picks up the cape, which she had dropped on the floor earlier, and we commented on. Now she's using it to put out the fires, much to Lando's dismay.
Yes.
He's saying it's a what does he call it?
A custom piece, he said.
A custom piece.
Custom piece.
Yeah.
Now,
So
you
you
is this a reference to the community pizza meme?
Oh my goodness.
So Kira comes into the room, everything's on fire, and she goes to try to put it out with a cape, the way that what's his name is trying to put out the thing with his shirt, I think, or whatever that is.
I thought in the fire he just turns around and backs right out of the room, doesn't he? In the meme,
Right, but he's not trying to put it like so. When he gets into the door, there's stuff on fire. Somebody's trying to put it out with a piece of fabric.
Yeah.
And people are lying on the ground, and this seems. I can't. Yes, let me tell you. I don't know. This is the first time that I thought of it. Looking at it here, I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's a reference.
And then when she mentions the gas leak too, she's like, "Oh, we're leaking gas."
Right.
And this is when Tobias Tateka hurts his thumbs.
True. Yeah.
And that is a great joke. That's
I do like
really
it.
good. That's really funny. He delivers that way better than he delivers the phrase ventral gun.
Right.
I'm on the ventral gun.
Because he's also got that, like, there's the duality of Woody, where he's like, he's, kind of bluster, and then switches into that, like, no. He's like a sad little boy also. It's like, I really
liked
hurt
it.
my thumbs.
I really liked it because it also seems like such a human moment. Like,
Yeah.
as people were all these banging our funny bones and tripping over stuff and accidentally kicking things. And, I think I like that. It's a nice little human moment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Human. So several weeks, he's a near human.
Near human.
Thumbso facey color.
Uh-huh. Thumbs up, facey color. The bounty hunter.
Thumbso. Remember the Thumb Wars?
Sure.
Yes.
There,
Yes. Well, how come you've never done that minute?
when Ooby Doo Banooby introduces himself, that bit has lived rent-free in my head for like 20 years.
Huh.
Wow.
Nice.
What's your name? I am called Ooby Doo Banooby. Well, what's your middle name? Scooby Dooby. Your name is Ooby Doob Scooby Dooby Banooby? Yes, I have the silliest name in the galaxy.
They should totally do a special edition of that.
Yes.
Didn't they?
Did they?
I believe
Well,
so.
they should do another one, okay,
Do it
Peter?
more special.
All right.
Do a sequel.
They have to do a Blu-ray, a McClunky edition of all these things.
Yes.
I think it was when, like, in the 90s, so like all the all the Star Wars,
all of them,
kind of fan parody funny things that were around for a little bit. Then in the late 90s, when DVDs were a thing and the special editions came out, they all jumped on that bandwagon. So you had Hardware Wars had a special edition. I believe Thumb Wars had a special edition. I think Troops, got released on DVD with a special edition kind of.
No Spaceballs special edition.
You would think that would be, he would be ripe, jump on that capitalization train. But I do not believe so. I could be wrong.
On this show before. I don't think Spaceballs is that great.
It's not.
I don't like Spaceballs.
I like scenes in Spaceballs.
Sure.
And
like
I also
jokes.
love that song that's like, but what they got is what you need, and all they do is dirty deeds. They're the Spaceballs! Like, that song, absent of context, is a banger. And I don't know why it doesn't get enough credit. Oh, everybody loves Axel F. No one likes Theme to Spaceballs.
It's just like the Cat Dog theme song.
Can I hear it?
I don't know.
Hum a few bars.
Hum a few bars, the bounty hunter.
Yeah. Oh, see, that's a Star Wars name too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If that song existed independent of that forgettable Nickelodeon cartoon,
there's a lot of those.
I don't have an ending of that sentence.
It's all right. I
think it's good.
Get a lot of stuff like that. Hey, speaking of music, I know I had said it was Friday, but I actually had it in my notes for today. Can I talk about two pieces of music? Can I fumble around like a blind man?
Can we
I'll
have
allow
a
it,
second
but
to decide if you can do that?
Sure.
tread
Talk
carefully,
amongst
counsel.
yourselves. I'll go like this.
I got a lot of opinions about the number of
He's not
music
wearing the
cues.
Waluigi hat anymore, so I'm okay with it.
all right, Pete, we've decided you can discuss one musical cue.
Oh, okay.
Two if you want.
No. Well, yeah, okay.
Musical
What you
cue,
got?
like when he shows up with the trombone and the trumpet and the sombrero.
Wrong show.
Star Trek Minute.
Well, we had two. They kind of go one into the other because they're both callbacks to Millennium Falcon music. In yesterday, when we first were flying amongst the Carbonbergs, we had a callback to the asteroid sequence music.
Mm-hmm.
They like that, like as it goes flying through it. And now, as soon as Chewie jumps in the cockpit, we get like what has become the Millennium Falcon music. It used to just be Star Wars kind of second theme, action theme, whatever it's called. I think we were talking to Crescentia about this, maybe in person, maybe off camera. I can't remember, but it used to just be the second theme from Star Wars, not the like the other one like and that just used to just be called, it's Joe Dater, I think it brought up. It's just used to be called the Star Wars, like the second theme or whatever.
The action theme of Star Wars.
And but now it's been associated as of the new movies. I think it's become the Millennium Falcon music. And so we get that when Chewie jumps in the cockpit, we first see Han and Chewie together in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. And again, we don't take too long to sit there and be like, isn't this a thing? We just get like, okay, and here they are, and we get, because now, this is where the fun begins, as if I can quote my friend Anakin Skywalker, that this, that we know that we're in for, like, the action part is going to continue here. They're two competent pilots here. And so I hear he was a good friend. It's effective to bring in the action music, but also we get it's the Millennium Falcon music, and we get this Millennium Falcon moment.
Yeah, but counterpoint. They
Sure.
really throw the whole kitchen sink of musical cues in this, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
And why don't you throw Darth Vader's music in there too? when the TIE fighter's shooting at the thing, and then when
Yoda's
when they kill the last TIE fighter, why not go
I like to move it.
And then all of a sudden, when the cannon breaks, it goes Huda Man, Yoda Man. It's like what?
You threw a little Axel F.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, that was my music minute.
Was that all? Was that all of your music cues, Pete, or did you have another one you wanted to comment on?
It was the two. It was the one,
Okay.
the two uses, two callbacks. One of the asteroid field and one of Star Wars second theme.
I as of this second, I'm leaning towards not liking the fact that they use the asteroid theme. Just because it's the asteroid theme. It's not the Kessel, like I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of I mean, I guess it's emblematic of the whole movie as a whole, that it's kind of like taking stuff that we loved and just kind of like, hey, look, you remember this, right? Right? You remember this song? So I guess the whole movie's like that. So to now suddenly be like, I don't like that they're using old stuff in it is kind of, that's that ship has already sailed in this case.
Sailed through a sea of carbon bergs.
Yes, exactly. Earlier in the week, I commented, or not earlier in the week, earlier a couple of weeks ago, I commented on the fact that the Falcon above the chess table, there's kind of like a light fixture that is not there during the New Hope era. And you can see why in this scene. You see that it has fallen down and it is like dangling, hanging down. So this is clearly where it gets lost. But does the Falcon have any kind of thing in it to... Here's what I'm thinking. If the ship is getting battered around that badly where lamps are falling down and fires are breaking out in the ship, it seems to me that there could be cracks also. You know what I mean?
In the hull?
In the hull. So does the Falcon have any kind of like automatic thing that seals off? Because I mean, it seems like you would get at least tiny little cracks from stuff hitting the ship. And so I was just wondering if there's any kind of system in place.
Yes.
Okay.
As long as there are absolutely no follow-up questions.
Right.
All right.
Now, I got a weird question as long as we're talking about the Falcon.
Yes.
They devote a lot of room to that chess table. I don't like, how much chess are these people playing? I'm like, the moment I take over the Falcon, I'm like, let's get a pinball machine, something more fun. It's chess. I get that it's monster chess, but come on.
Have you ever tried to play Dejarik?
No.
It is unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited. I went to Galaxy's Edge at Disney World, right? And they had like a analog Dejarik board, like a wooden one with hand-carved looking pieces. And I was like, oh, that's cool as hell. I'm going to get that. And I sat down with my friend Sean, who loves Star Wars. And we're like, we're going to learn to play Dejarik. We're going to be space monster chess players.
Sure.
Dude.
No good?
It's completely impenetrable. Because there are like 4 kinds of monsters in the game on each team, but the ones that correspond with each other don't look like each other.
Oh no.
So you can't tell.
Yeah, and some of them like move backwards out of the board into a different part of it. Like it's just, thank God the other side of it is a checkers board.
Well, there you go. Space checkers.
Space checkers.
Right.
Yeah.
Peter, were you going to say
They just turn
something?
on the space chess side when somebody's in the room that they want to impress, and then as soon as they leave, they like flip it back over to checkers.
I thought I cut you off. Were you going to say something?
Who?
Peter?
Me? No.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just made a bad joke and said that Space Checkers is Palpatine's dog.
Oh my God! You
Excellent
can't impeach me.
So, Asterios,
Forgive little checkers.
You mentioned you'd rather have a pinball machine. Do you think you can have, like, could you have a pool table on the Falcon?
I mean, look, now that I think about it, both a pinball machine and a pool table, but here, a sabac table. That's what they need, and it shoves the cards up, and it's got holders for your chips, like chess, space chess. That's for space nerds.
Yeah.
That is space true.
I wonder if
you could also watch a circus on it.
You can watch a circus on it?
Yeah. Well,
what do you mean?
The one in Chewbacca's house. You know, like
is that also a Dejarik table?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I never
exactly the same. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is the same model.
I never realized it.
And they punch some buttons, and it's like, hey, keep the kids busy. Instead of putting on, like Paw Patrol or whatever, it puts on a little space circus.
So do you think you could play multiple? Is there like multiple games in that thing? And we've only just seen Dejarik?
Sure. Yeah.
Why couldn't you have Hollow Pinball then?
You could, I bet.
Or you can watch the Hollow News.
You can watch the Hollow News.
Hollow Pool.
You could watch some Saboka movies.
Hollow Man starring Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, there you
Saboka. Well, all right. Sounds like we...
You can watch Sleepy Hollow.
All right, but look, bottom line, I think all those music cues are kind of unearned. It's like, look, I like that music, and I will respond to that music. But I feel like it's just a little bit. It's like Come on, a teddy bear sat down. This isn't that big of a deal.
I wonder how much of it is the decision of the composer versus the decision of the director, or like, do you think they said, oh no, at this point we want to use the same music, we want to use the asteroid field here, we want to do this, or do you think the composer makes those choices? I guess we should ask Chrysanthi those kind of questions, because I'm sure they have answers. Is there anything else for minute number 89?
I remember.
Of Solo, a Star Wars story. Pete.
I love that Chewie sits down in the co-pilot seat to take care of business. He's, flipping all the switches. And one of the first things he does is turn on the headlights.
Yes. It's such a funny...
I didn't notice that.
It's such a funny way to demonstrate that he is a better pilot.
Yeah.
It's so fast. It's very, very good. It's very good.
There's a bit that I won't quote it here because it is racially insensitive, because it's from the 80s, from Short Circuit 2. But I will oft quote it just to when it's just me and my wife, perhaps, and we're driving. There's a quote about headlights that I thought of when I heard this one, but I'm not going to bring that back into the world.
What?
Sorry.
Why did you bring it up?
This is a weird flex there, Pete.
Because it's not, it made me think of the Short Circuit too. I'll say that, but I don't want to, it's doing, like Fisher Stephen is doing a, stereotype Indian accent, and I don't want to.
So everyone who's seen Short Circuit 2 can nod knowingly and be like,
and
yes.
if not, don't bother. It's not, it's no,
a thing.
It's no Ghostbusters 2.
What?
It's clobbering time.
Mm. You got a thing from this minute?
Yeah. When in that bit that I like, when Han's like, you know how to fly? And Chewbacca goes, wah, wah, wah. And he goes, 190, you look great. In my head, what Chewbacca said there is, I work out.
He should have lifted up his fur to show off his washboard abs at the
and his washboard genitals.
Dude, do you even lift?
Is that how it works? Do they just like,
I don't know.
Isn't that kind of what we do?
You and Ralph?
Yes.
That's our secret handshake.
When they're on the couch.
Yeah.
We rub our ridges together.
Oh, above ridges.
Oh, I also want to call out Alden Ehrenreich's movie driving once again. He's piloting the Falcon, and he's like, and he's like, 190, you look great. And like, but he's still just doing movie driving. So
Maggie Simpson driving.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a 50-year-old playing a video game in a movie.
Right, yeah.
That joke in the beginning of the movie is funny as hell to me.
Which movie?
When he's like, I learned this trick from my pal Needles, the best street racer in all of Corellia.
That's
until he crashed and died doing this.
That's next minute. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Oh my
God.
Not
from the beginning.
Wasn't that in the beginning?
No,
but you're thinking of the joke where he's trying to drive through the alley.
Yeah.
Right. But that's in it. So bear with us, and you'll get that. You'll get to that.
Space Bear with us.
I like it.
Space Bear with us.
So I guess
bear with us.
That will wrap up minute 89. And just as a reminder, if you haven't checked out our Patreon lately, we've been covering the Obi-Wan Kenobi show over there. And so if you're curious about our opinions on it, we should probably just be wrapping up at this time. So go to StarWarsMinute.com/Patreon. Become a supporter. Any and all levels get to hear our very insightful and very valuable opinions.
Give us a buck. Listen to some shows.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Alex had a tracking error just there.
So do that, and then do us tomorrow here on Star Wars Minute.
Space Bear with us.